what we might do to start off is work through from Maya through to the other end, and getting the girls just a quick intro with their name, where they're from, and what crew they'll be racing in at the World Championships later on in the year. So let's start with you, Maya.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Maya. I'm from Prepare, in AUS, and I'm running the lightweight double scull at the World Champs with Alice.
So I'm Alice, I'm from Melbourne. I went to the Loretto Medical Hall in Melbourne, and I run Melbourne Uni Boat Club, and I'm the lightweight double client.
Hi, my name's Lucy. I'm from Melbourne. I went to boarding school at Ballarat Grammar, and I'm running in the pair at World Cup, the 4 at under 23s, and the 4 and the 8 at World Champs. So, pretty big international season.
I'm Alex, I'm from Bunbury. I'm now rowing Perth out of Swannies and Wakes. I'm also rowing in the pair against Lucy. With Hannah, in the 4 and in the 8.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm from country New South Wales, but I went to boarding school in Geelong, so now in Melbourne. I'm rowing the pair with Luce, and at World Cup 3, and then the same 4 and under 23s, and 4 seniors, and then 8 with Alex and Hannah.
I'm Renee and I'm from Adelaide. I went to school that didn't row, and I'm just rowing the 8 at St. Rose.
I'm Beck and I'm from Victoria, and I'm president for the 8.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I went to PLC, and I'm in the pair at the World Cup with Alex, and the 4 under 23s, the 4 and the 8 at Senior World Champs as well.
I'm Alex. I went to Perth College and I row at A&A Rowing Club. I'm rowing the lightweight quad at World Champs with Hannah and 2 other girls.
Hi, I'm Hannah from Melbourne, and I went to MLC in Melbourne, and I'll be rowing in the fighting quad with Alex and my mates.
Alright, thanks girls. So basically we're going to open the floor up for any questions. Doesn't matter what it is, whether what the girls have managed to balance with work and careers and rowing, what their favourite rowing course is, or what they have for breakfast. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you girls are interested in, and that you're going to get something out of. I might give you questions off though. I'm not sure whether any of you watched the first World Cup, but the Aussie 8 won the women's 8, and that was the first time that the Americans had been knocked off for a very long time. And Lucy was the stroke of the crew. And my first question for Lucy is, what attributes or character traits do you think make a good stroke of the crew?
Does she lie?
I think what makes a good stroke is definitely to be consistent. You have to set up that rhythm and make it easier for the rest of the girls to follow. And also, yeah, it's kind of just about leading the crew. You know, when the clock's calls to go, you have to be the first to go. If you hold back, then there's nothing that the other crew can do. So just make sure just be really hard on yourself and pushing every single stroke.
That's cool. Right. So, girls, has anyone got a question they'd like to start with? So don't be shy. You don't want to listen to me make up questions the whole way through. Yep.
What's your most favourite call during race?
I know, Alex Hagan. What's your favourite call during the race?
Whoever's yelling anything, hopefully works.
So there's nothing coming in that last 500 metres that a coxswain or whoever's making the calls in the boats are going to get that extra little bit out of you, or even something that's a bit humorous that someone's blurted out in the races.
Swearing usually.
Swearing usually gets the job
I think
done.
it's just about, about aggressive cocks is going to pick you up. It's about stage gliding cocks, but having that someone aggressive who's going to always ask for more. And it's like always kind of like, come on girls, let's fucking go.
I also say that the positive banter that happens, like when you're rowing in the 8, and even when you've got the cogs, like to hear someone else go, yeah, like that feels good or something. That I reckon that's probably one of the most the things that fires me up the most is hear the other girls in the A having a real good time, or they enjoyed some part of the push we did, or some call that Lizzie made, or whatever. That positive reinforcement is really, really good, I reckon, in all boats, even the 4 as well.
And also, the most important thing about rowing in a team is that you trust the people you row with. So quite often calls that really work in a boat is we're a 2-person boat. So whoever's sitting behind the other person is the one that makes the calls. And we switch around, so we do both ways. And if you're in the bow seat, it's about saying, yeah, I'm with you, like, alright, I'm ready for this, are you ready for this? Okay, let's go on this stroke now. And then you do a massive push together, and you just know that if I'm going to call it, the person in front knows that I'm ready to go. And you can use each other's names as well. So quite often it's really good to say, I'm with you. And it's really important to have a personal connection when you're rowing in a boat, because when your body's on the line, you need to trust the person rowing.
So next question. Yep.
When did you all start rowing? Like what year?
It's probably a bit of a mix. I think an interesting one's probably maybe Renee, who started rowing a little bit later. How did you first start getting into rowing, and what was the amount of time it took from when you first started to when you made a national team?
Okay, I started rowing in 2009, and I was like a talent ID that came across from swimming. And my first nationals was 2010, and I made the under 23 national team in 2010.
It's pretty impressive progression there. But I think it shows what you can do. That if you've got your mind on what you're trying to achieve, you can really progress quite quickly if you're prepared to put the work in. Maybe Hannah Vermeesh, where did you start rowing? When did you start rowing, and what was the progression like for you?
I started rowing in 2006, and I did it through the school program, so PLC, and then was talent ID'd into the WACE program, I think in late 07, or early 2008, and then went down to the club scene and made my first junior team in 2009.
Alice, you're probably the most well-travelled of the girls up in front. Where would be the most exciting play, or the place that you've enjoyed the most for training or racing in your rowing career?
So a lot of the races we get to do now are over in Europe, so we're really lucky. There's this course in Switzerland called the Lucerne. It's in Lucerne. It's called the Rotzi, and it's this 2-kilometre natural lake in the middle of the Swiss Alps. So it's beautiful. So a lot of us have had the chance to go, and some of these guys are going to go over to the World Cup this year, which is in about 3 weeks' time, I think. That's beautiful. But in Australia, we've got some gorgeous ones down in Tassie. When I was at school, we had a nationals down at Lake Barrington, which is beautiful. And of course, the Olympic course in Sydney is always pretty special to us because it's a home base, and we've had a World Cup there this year, which a lot of us had a really good regatta, so surf's amazing. But just lately, I've been up to the waters of Perth, which is a great place to train compared to freezing Melbourne. It's beautiful out there. So just guys, you're really lucky. You've got the best water and the best environment to really make rowing a thing you love doing.
Yeah. Okay, another question from the... Yep, go for it.
It's like your overtime.
Maybe if we get a couple of the girls to say maybe what they did at school and what they did now, and maybe a couple of the heavyweight girls and a couple of lightweight girls, a bit of a comparison.
So at school, I did a 7:35 on stage 2. So for our age, I was sort of like average, but like one girl did 7:19 and then another girl did like 8:05. And now I only just broke 7, so 6:57 on slides.
I did an 8 minute at school, and now
well though that the bike speed's probably the most important thing. So the erg's a great training tool and a great sort of assessment of where people's physiology is at. But then you've got the stroke of the Aussie A, and she doesn't think she can do good ergo, but she can make the bike move really quickly. Hannah Clark, what were your ergs like at school? And
when I was at school, we never did 2K ergos, so sorry, I can't give you my school score. We did 1500s, and I honestly can't remember. I'm not a numbers girl, and I think my 2K's around 7:13, so that's well ago though. But I think to reiterate the point that it's really good to not have a fear of ergos. It's like just see where you're at personally, but the biggest thing is how you make the boat move. And I reckon if you ask everyone along this table, there'd be a real mix of scores. But at the end of the day, what matters is how fast you can move your boat from point A to point B, not how fast you can, or how hard you can pull the ergo.
got another question? Yeah.
At school, were all of you always in the top groups, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe we can do a bit of a show of hands for that. So, of the girls that rode at school, who was in the first aid at school?
I started off with these games and then I started like
I had a road 2 sets at school and I started with a lot of crew and worked my way up to the first, but all pretty average crew.
So yeah, sorry.
Alice came over to my place with me last night and I don't bring out Alice's stories and she was telling Alice about year 9. I was in year 9 BA and I came home one day and apparently you see me upset or crying and said, oh, I want to move into the A's, I want to go. Oh yeah. Why? All my friends with the B's, I just want to go up into that. And still, at the end of the year, I'm sure you guys will do it, we got a photo of the crew and on this piece of cardboard that opened out, the whole crew signed it, and it's still written there from my year 9 coach. I'm really, really sorry that we put you in this boat. We thought we were good enough to come into that. Just enjoy where you are and keep your role.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really important point. I think the main thing when you're rowing at school is that you are enjoying it, and down the track you can take your rowing as far as you want to. There's a couple of guys that spring to mind as well. So Glenn Loftus and Ronnie Snook, who both didn't make the first aid at school, but ended up winning Olympic medals down the track. So it's certainly not the be all and end all if you're not in the top in the first aid or the top crew now, but as long as you're enjoying what you're doing. So we've got another question. Yep.
Do you guys have specific diets or sort of whatever's in the pantry?
There's probably, but maybe we're worth there's a bit of it. We've got a few of the half the girls here are probably rowing the heavyweight category. We've got some lightweight girls as well, so it probably adds another element to it. So maybe if we hear from one of the lighting girls, maybe Alex Hayes.
Yeah, so lightweight women's rowing, you have, when you row individually, you have to weigh in